Okay, close your eyes for just a second. I want you to imagine the sound of children laughing, running outside in the warm afternoon sun. You can almost hear the soft thud of a rubber ball bouncing on the pavement. Bounce, bounce, bounce. And then, sudden silence. The laughing completely stops. Today, we're not just going to read lines from a textbook. We're stepping inside a deeply emotional moment. Welcome to The Explainer for John Berryman's masterpiece, The Ball Poem. Have you ever lost something that seemed small to everyone else but meant absolutely everything to you? Really think about it. Maybe it was a favorite toy when you were 5, or maybe it was a friendship when you had to change schools. Over the next few minutes, we're going to witness a young boy experiencing his very first profound loss. And I want you to understand right from the get-go, this is not a poem about a rubber ball. It's about growing up. Listen to these opening lines. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water. The poet is just standing by, watching this young boy play. And notice that word, merrily. The ball is just happily bouncing along, completely unaware of the absolute devastation it's about to cause. One wrong bounce down the street and splash. It's gone into the dark water of the harbor. The whole physical event, over in seconds. And this brilliantly illustrates the two layers of our story today. On the surface, the literal meaning, it's just a ball rolling into the harbor, right? But the hidden meaning, the deep psychological truth we're actually uncovering here, is the sudden, irreversible loss of childhood innocence. That ball represents his carefree days, and once it slips into the water, there's no way to just reach in and pull those days back. Which brings us to a question I really want you to keep asking yourself as we go through this text. Why didn't someone simply buy him another ball? I mean, a rubber ball costs almost nothing. Any adult walking by could have just handed him a few coins. So why didn't they? Keep that in the back of your mind as we watch what happens to the boy next. The poet tells us exactly what the boy is feeling. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. Look at those heavy, powerful words. Rigid, trembling, shaking grief. This isn't just a child throwing a tantrum. In easy Hindi, this is gehra dukh, a deep, paralyzing sorrow. He is literally frozen by the shock of his first real heartbreak. Now, notice the contrast here. When the boy is staring into the dark water, he isn't just looking at a piece of floating rubber. As the poem says, he's staring down all his young days. His memories, his sweet attachment to the past, the countless hours he spent playing, it's all sunk out of reach. The physical toy is gone, yeah, but the real tragedy is that a piece of his childhood went down with it. So I ask you again, why didn't someone simply buy him another ball? Well, it's because you can go to a store and replace the rubber, but you can never repurchase the innocence, those specific memories, and the intense emotional attachment tied to that specific object. The poet understands this deeply. He says, I would not intrude on him. A dime, another ball is worthless. Now he senses first responsibility in a world of possessions. People will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy. The poet deliberately steps back. He refuses to offer a dime, which is literally just 10 cents, or to comfort him. Why? Because the boy is finally sensing his first responsibility. He's realizing for the first time that things in this world are temporary. Take a look at this striking visual. It perfectly captures this really complex world of possessions. You see, humans are wired to attach our emotions to things, to people, to places, to objects. We literally build our identities around what we hold on to. But the harsh psychological truth this boy is learning is that loss is inevitable. People will take balls, balls will be lost always. We just don't get to keep everything we love forever. So, for the final time, why didn't someone simply buy him another ball? Because if you rescue someone from their grief, if you just hand them money to fix their pain, you completely steal their opportunity to grow. Experiences, maturity, emotional strength, those cannot be bought. They have to be earned through the painful process of letting go. And here is the beautiful, incredibly powerful climax of our story. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He is learning, well behind his desperate eyes, the epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days, how to stand up. Money is external. It can only buy physical things, not internal peace. Behind those hopeless, desperate eyes, a profound transformation is taking place. He is learning to survive. The entire emotional arc of this poem rests on this absolutely crucial phrase, straight from your CBSE glossary, the epistemology of loss. The Greek word episteme means knowledge, so epistemology is simply the study of knowledge. The boy is gaining the deep human knowledge of what it actually means to lose something you love, and, more importantly, the knowledge of how to survive that loss. Let's map out this emotional journey together, because honestly, it's the psychology of growing up. It always starts with attachment, loving something purely. Then comes the sudden loss, the ball bouncing into the water. That forces us into rigid grief, that trembling paralysis where we feel like our whole world is over. But if we allow ourselves to actually feel that grief, it eventually leads to ultimate acceptance. We learn how to stand up again. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why this poem matters to you right now. It's not just about some kid by a harbor. This is about you. It's about losing a favorite toy. It's the sadness of changing schools and leaving your best friends behind. It's moving away from the home you grew up in. Ultimately, as we get older, it's about the heartbreaking reality of losing loved ones and leaving the safe shelter of childhood behind. Every single time you face these moments, you are that boy watching the ball drift away. Section 1, Board Exam Masterclass for the ball poem. Let's get right into it. All right, let's break down the key poetic devices so you can ace those competency-based questions. We have anaphora at the very beginning. The repetition of what, creates this intense sense of panic and confusion. Then we've got alliteration with buys a ball back. That repeating B sound really emphasizes the finality of the loss. The entire poem relies heavily on symbolism, where the ball perfectly represents youth and innocence. And notice the structure. It's written in free verse, with no obvious rhyme scheme. This perfectly mimics the unpredictable, natural flow of a real-life emotional crisis. The core theme? The harsh, but entirely necessary acceptance of loss. Let's quickly lock in your essential vocabulary. Trust me, if you use these exact words in your answers, the examiner will know you've mastered the text. Shaking grief means a deep sadness that physically affects the boy. Rigid means stiff or paralyzed by shock. To intrude means to step into a situation where you're unwelcome, which is exactly what the poet refuses to do. A dime is a US 10-cent coin, showing just how cheap the physical toy actually is. And desperate means completely hopeless, which is exactly how his eyes look before he finds his strength. Moving on to the top expected questions. First, why won't the poet intrude or offer money? Your answer, because offering a cheap replacement steals the boy's chance to learn responsibility and emotional resilience. Second, what does a world of possessions mean? Well, it means a materialistic world where people are overly attached to temporary physical things. And third, has the boy lost anything before? The text says he is sensing his first responsibility, which strongly suggests this is his very first profound experience of permanent loss. Okay, let's do a 1-minute final revision to burn this narrative right into your memory. Step 1, the ball escapes, carelessly bouncing into the dark water. Step 2, the boy freezes, overcome by rigid, shaking grief as his childhood memories sink. Step 3, the poet observes, refusing to intrude with worthless money, acting as a silent witness to him growing up. And finally, step 4, the boy learns to stand, grasping the epistemology of loss and realizing he absolutely must survive in a world where things will always be taken away. We've covered the syllabus, we've covered the vocabulary, but I really want to leave you with the true heartbeat of this story. Life doesn't ask whether we're ready to lose something. It simply teaches us how to move forward. That is the real lesson of the ball poem. You don't get to choose when the ball rolls into the water, but you absolutely get to choose what you do next. So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. The boy found a way to look past his desperate eyes and find his inner strength. When you face your own epistemology of loss in life, when something you deeply love slips away into the harbor, how will you choose to stand up? Think about it. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.